Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated. Thank you very much.
I will build the wall, and Mexico is going to pay for it, and they'll be happy to pay for it.
I want to build a safe zone someplace in Syria. We have to get the Gulf states. They have nothing but money. We have to get the Gulf states. They have nothing but money.
Anybody but Donald Trump. Anyone. We are not going to be okay.
And I guess the message that I want to spread out to other women is exactly what you're saying, is not to give up. Sorry, I hate fucking crying on camera, but is not to give up, because this is so important, and it's easy to say throw in the towel and that we're gonna leave.
And I do want to say that I've been very vocal for my support for everyone besides Donald Trump.
This is happening. I'm literally about to fucking kill myself, and I'm not kidding. You better fucking fix this shit right now.
I will take care of women.
I literally am gonna die. I need an ambulance.
I will take care of women. I will take women. Thank you very much, everybody.
Donald Trump has become the 45th President of the United States and the leader of a new world. Even when the polls showed that Donald Trump was leading the vote, the media still went ahead and published Hillary Clinton as the winner in Newsweek magazine. It was a shocking blow to the left wing to see Donald Trump win both the popular vote and the electoral vote. This led to a massive media deception rally, where far-right and alternative news went on an assault campaign, anointing the far-left media, like CNN, as fake news. Rising to their defense and friend to the White House was Jill Stein, who executed a well-planned PR stunt, raising over $7 million to pay for a recount of votes in states Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. These three states were strongly Democrat, and expectations were that these states chose Hillary. Jill Stein admitted having analytics showing Hillary is their favorite.
The three states that we chose, including Michigan, that only just now declared its winner, this was not a partisan choice. This was zooming in on the states that have the markings of being most vulnerable to hacking because they had thin margins. They went the opposite way of what was expected, or what was rigged, and they had some kind of voting system vulnerability. Yeah, you guys know exactly what the vulnerability is because you created it. It's George Soros 101. They didn't go as expected. Of course not.
Her reason is that Jill Stein believed in voter fraud. It's interesting that during the campaign, Trump joined the far-right cry of calling the voting system a corrupt, rigged device.
Or 8 different districts in order to be considered, and the only person who's done that so far is Donald Trump.
Well, and that's a misunderstanding. That rule actually is different than that. That's a vote that needs to be taken at the convention of the delegates. The requirement is that the candidate must demonstrate the support of the majority of the delegates from 8 states that are permanently seated. So that vote can't even be taken until the convention. So obviously, no determination can be made until the convention.
So that vote that we thought, or that rule that we thought stood, is not a rule that actually stands?
No, it is a rule that stands, but the rule says specifically that it's a vote of the delegates at the convention to determine if there's a majority.
Voters.
Not a primary vote. The primary votes are not considered. It's the delegates' votes. The delegates cannot vote until they're permanently seated, and that's the first action of the convention. So to determine if there's a majority. Determine if there's a majority.
You see what's happening? The process is rigged. This whole election is being rigged.
However, after Jill Stein's recount announcement, Trump himself admitted that illegals' vote as would help him win.
Than 2 million In addition to winning the Electoral College in a landslide, I won the popular vote if you deduct the millions of people who voted illegally, he tweeted.
However, the recount of the votes still showed that Trump won, and the attention desperately moved to Donald Trump, working with Russia and President Vladimir Putin, cyber-hacking the outcome of the voting systems. 44th President Barack Obama decided to speak publicly and confirmed that he has proven evidence that Putin himself hacked the voting machines in the United States.
In early September, when I saw President Putin in China, I felt that the most effective way to ensure that that didn't happen was to talk to him directly and tell him to cut it out, and there were going to be some serious consequences if he didn't. Uniform intelligence assessments, the Russians were responsible for hacking the DNC, and that as a consequence, it is important for us to review all elements of that and make sure that we are preventing that kind of interference through cyber attacks in the future. Continues to be to send a clear message to Russia or others not to do this to us, because we can do stuff to you.
However, Putin denies any hacking took place. Donald Trump is now putting the pieces of the puzzle together, as he builds his strong army of intelligence to rule the United States of America against the world. The sudden death of Fidel Castro had Trump declaring that the death of this dictator will make the world a better place. A perfectly timed gift, as Trump has openly admitted Castro blocking his attempts at building his businesses in Cuba.
You say you're going to continue to try to normalize diplomatic and economic relations. Would you open a Trump hotel in Havana?
I would, if at the right time, when we're allowed to do it. Right now we're not. I wouldn't do it on the basis that you get a 49% interest, because right now you get a 49% interest. Nobody knows even what the economics are or what they're going to do. And maybe it won't work out. But I will tell you, I think Cuba has certain potential, and I think it's okay to bring Cuba into the fold, but you have to make a much better deal, and you have to get all liabilities.
This army that will make all the right deals to make America great again consists of VP Mike Pence.
He's one of the biggest ass kissers towards the Muslims I have ever seen. Ever! How do I know this? Well, they were going to pass a resolution to recognize the Armenian genocide, the first genocide of the 20th century, right? And who went against it? It was good old Mike Pence. Good old Mike Pence said, I cannot pass this resolution. And you would think Pamela Gela would be coming up going, oh my goodness, this guy's a traitor. He kissed ass to the Turks. The Turkish people, the Turkish Ottoman Empire, butchered over 3 million Christians in the 20th century. And here's Mike Pence saying, I cannot allow this recognition of this genocide of Christians done by Muslims.
The worst part is that Mike Pence is pro-establishment. He's literally part of the establishment. He was a congressman, and now he is a governor. So all these things that you could have criticized Hillary Clinton for, you could have said, well, you supported the Iraq War. That was wrong. You support the TPP and all these disastrous trade deals that ship our jobs overseas. Now she can say, well, so does your VP, and you can't say anything. So I think strategically, this is just a dumb move. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Mike Pence is the governor that literally signed a bill into law that legalizes discrimination against LGBT people. So this bill that he signed into law states that businesses can just kick people out if they're gay. Also, he's in total support of the drug war and wants to expand the fight in Mexico. He supports prayer in schools. He voted against funding for education numerous times and denied millions in grants specifically to Black and Latino colleges. He is against parental leave for federal employees. He is rated 100% by the Christian Coalition for his, quote, pro-family voting record, meaning he just hates gay people, and they applaud him for that. Now, he supports disastrous free trade deals like CAFTA, as I stated, and he literally voted against helping workers that lost their jobs due to globalization. He's in favor of a wall on the southern border. He is in favor of ending birthright citizenship and wants to report undocumented immigrants that go to the hospital. Let me just stop there and reiterate how extreme this position is. So if you're an undocumented immigrant, he's saying, well, if you need hospital help and medical attention, well, do you want to get deported? Well, if not, then die.
Yesterday, the two met with members of the transition team at Trump Tower in New York. The team has already announced that Republican Chairman Reince Priebus will be chief of staff and Steve Bannon will be chief strategist and senior counselor.
Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. Priebus is the long-serving chairman of the Republican National Committee. He is a Washington insider, having worked in government since 2004, and good friend of the House Speaker, Paul Ryan. The Republican National Committee was praised as the biggest pro-Israel organization the world has ever seen.
Today, we send a clear message to the tens of millions of pro-Israel voters who must see that our party stands on faith and principle. Our Republican support for Israel's well-being is of paramount concern and will not be sold out or dumbed down for the sake of petty interests ever again. I ask all of you to stand with me and proudly make history as we, ladies and gentlemen, affirm for now and always that the Republican Party and America truly stand with Israel. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The RNC support Israel as an ally of the United States. Chief Strategist Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon replaced Paul Manafort as Trump's campaign manager. Manafort was dropped because his secret ties to Russian Jewish mafia and the trafficking of drugs to Argentina was exposed. As damage control, Trump elected a so-called Christian, Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon was executive chairman for Breitbart News. He made Breitbart a space for pro-Israel writers and anti-Semitic readers. Breitbart, who died in 2012, relentlessly pursued the argument that the left is the enemy, but Jews on the left are worse because they are traitors who are selling out Israel. After Breitbart's death, Bannon realized that the site was attracting a huge readership by posting what amount to anti-Semitic headlines, attacking American Jews deemed to be not sufficiently pro-Israel.
Breitbart's right-wing Jewish writers were willing to use anti-Semitic slander to attack their left-wing Jewish enemies as self-hating enemies of Israel.
Head of Homeland Security General John F. Kelly. General Kelly was former commander of the United States Southern Command, a unit which oversees the security of America around Central America, Mexico, South America, and the Caribbean.
Social media calling for the infiltration of the U.S. southern border. Can you tell us how serious you think that threat is?
I think, Senator, that the kind of people that you're referring to of course, their intent is to do us the greatest amount of harm possible. This network that Bill and I deal with every day, not to mention the law enforcement folks, is so efficient that if a terrorist or almost anyone wants to get into our country, they just pay the fare. No one checks their passports. No one, they don't go through metal detectors. No one cares why they're coming. They just ride this network. And if someone wanted to come in here with nuclear material, I was just down at Emory University at the Ebola facility there, talking about how Ebola spreads and potentially could be used as a weapon. It's a scary proposition when I think of this network.
Yet this is the same military that stood down and allowed millions of illegals from Mexico cross the border, and allowed this threat to be equipped with fake documents, fake passports, and even have illegals take on the names of real dead American citizens. General John Kelly will be in charge of keeping America safe from the enemy. Secretary of State Rex W. Tillerson. Rex W. Tillerson was the chairman and CEO of ExxonMobil until he got the call from Donald Trump. The Rockefellers, who have a huge majority in Exxon, have wanted to strip Rex Tillerson of his position as chairman of Exxon board for a long time, to force the company to separate the job from the chief executive's job. The goal of that resolution is to improve the management of the company, which could strengthen its environmental policies and improve more traditional pursuits like exploring more aggressively for new oil reserves. The Rockefellers say they are not trying to embarrass Mr. Tillerson, but think it is time for the company to spend more of its funds helping the nation chart a new energy future away from natural gases. Rex Tillerson has extensive connections in the Middle East, and his work in the oil industry will come of great help, as Donald Trump sets his targets at Saudi Arabia.
The Royal House of Saudi Arabia, because it's the Royal House of the Sauds, they called it Saudi Arabia, it claimed to be Jewish. So the entire Muslim world is being led by Jews. In 1914, this was the Ottoman Empire, extended down here. And the Royal House of Saud swore loyalty to the Ottoman Empire and received weapons, and they received guns. And a year later, the English came by with more weapons and more guns, and guess what? They re-swore loyalty to the British. In 1932, Standard Oil, which had the maps for all of the oil all around the world, they knew where the oil was. They started digging in Saudi Arabia. In 1939, the first oil well opened, and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds started supporting the Saudi Arabians. In 1944, Aramco. We get the oil into the United States Corporation, we sell the oil to Mobil, and then we buy weapons for Saudi Arabia. So they have to kill and destroy. Right now they're bombing Yemen and Oman on their southern border, Queen of Sheba's great empire, to steal their oil. When the dollar resets, the dollar stopped to Saudi Arabia, and we need to pray for the royal Saudi family, which is one of the most evil, nasty people that walk into a business and kill the owners and take the owners. Here. And the Jews here in Israel, they don't read the Old Testament. They don't read the Quran. They're importing pork now. You can buy pork all over this region, which is supposed to be Muslim. When they open up their oil wells in a few months, we're not going to need Saudi Arabian oil. The money will dry up, and Yemen will be helped by the Russians, and Oman will be helped by the Russians, because the oil up in here does not belong to Saudi Arabia. It belongs to the people of Yemen and Oman. And when that dries up, which will be within a year or two, it's over for Saudi Arabia. Qatar's oil will not be needed.
We are now seeing the transfer of power from the old system to the new system.
A lot of people here tonight felt like they lost. You know why? Because y'all been lied to. Google lied to you. Facebook lied to you. Radio lied to you. Radio, fuck you. Oh yeah, I'm on my Trump shit tonight. Radio, fuck you. Yeah, I'm taking his lead. I'ma just say how I say. I'ma just BA and win. I'ma take his lead. Radio, fuck you. As you say, give y'all my truth, even at the risk of my own life, even at the risk of my own success, my own career. I've been sent here to give y'all the truth. I just am a man, the same as everybody here. I ain't above, below, none of y'all. We all equal. We all equal. These is the vibes, bro. This is the future. This is the way of thinking to make America great again. Make America great. It's a new world, Hillary Clinton. It's a new world.
Is this the most fun you'll ever have?
It's a new world.
Right? Being at a Trump rally. Being at a Trump rally. There's nothing better. And we have kids that are watching the internet, and they want to be masterminds. And then you wonder, why do we lose all these kids? They go over there. They're young. They're impressionable. They go over. They want to join ISIS. We're losing a lot of people because of the internet. And we have to do something. We have to go see Bill Gates and a lot of different people that really understand what's happening. We have to talk to them, maybe in certain areas, closing that internet up in some way. Somebody will say, oh, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. These are foolish people. We have a lot of foolish people. We have a lot of foolish people. We've got to maybe do something with the internet because they are recruiting by the thousand.
For human life, okay? Number one, I'm opposed to wasting our military in the Middle East on behalf of Zionist Israel. Thank you.
All right, well, let me just tell you that Israel is a very, very important ally of the United States, and we are going to protect them 100%. 100%. They've been our most reliable. It's our true friend over there, and we're going to protect Israel 100%.
When I'm president, I will adopt a strategy that focuses on three things when it comes to Iran. First, we will stand up to Iran's aggressive push to destabilize and dominate the region. Iran is a problem in Iraq, a problem in Syria, a problem in Lebanon, a problem in Yemen, and will be a very, very major problem for Saudi Arabia.
The Israelis and the Saudis would love to see our money and our young men and women being killed to fight their enemies in Iran. Right. When you look at the bottom line, who this benefits if it leads to military action against Iran, it only benefits the Israelis and Saudi Arabia. And there's a precedent for it. We've already fought 2 wars against Iraq in favor of Israeli interests and Saudi interests. So we're always being pushed to get our people killed for their interests.
I've been with Israel so long in terms of I've received some of my greatest honors from Israel. My father before me, incredible. My daughter Ivanka is about to have a beautiful Jewish baby.
All of Donald Trump's children are either married to or dating Jews. All of them. The most famous of his kids, Ivanka Trump, she married Jared Kushner, who's Jewish, and she converted to Judaism herself. She actually took a Jewish name, Yael Trump. Her kids, Trump's grandkids, are Jewish. They probably call him Zadie. But it's not just Ivanka. Donald Jr. is married to Vanessa Hayden, who's Jewish. Eric Trump is married to Lara Yunaska, who's Jewish. They married under a Jewish chuppah or wedding canopy at Mar-a-Lago, an exclusive club that used to ban Jews until Trump filed a massive lawsuit against the bigots to let the Jews in. And then there's Tiffany Trump, Donald Trump's other daughter by Marla Maples. She's not married yet, but she's dating a Jewish man named Ross Mechanic. Trump has one more kid with Melania. His name is Barron. He's just 10, so it's not yet 5 kids out of 5 who were with Jews, but I wouldn't bet against Barron dating a Jew, would you? That's in Trump's personal life. His company, the Trump Organization, pretty Jewy. Executive Vice President, Michael Cohen. Other Executive Vice President, Jason Greenblatt. Chief Financial Officer, Alan Weisselberg. There's a token Gentile as Chief Operating Officer. Pretty much the Shabbos Goy who goes into the office by himself on Yom Kippur. Here's Donald Trump as a parade marshal at the Salute to Israel March in New York in 2004, a dozen years ago. He's been pro-Israel and pro-Jewish long before this campaign. And his campaign? Jewish. Stephen Miller, the firebrand speechwriter and spin doctor who also gives the warm-up speeches at the crowd for Trump's rallies? Jewish. I saw this, Michael Abood, communications coordinator. Sounds Muslim, right? No, Sephardi Jew. Steve Mnuchin, finance chair, Jewish, of course.
What is your secret? Because we don't seem to have the hang of that.
The secret is that we have America.